up, guys? This is Haley from Pittsburgh Music Magazine. I'm down here at Dave's Music Mine in Southside. We're here with FRZY talking about his Pittsburgh upbringing, his new album, and his big influences on his newest record. So let's take it back a little bit.
Okay.
When and where did you start your music career?
Well, I started it here in Pittsburgh. So I'm born and raised here. So just getting involved with the radio station a little bit and real heavy in the battle scene, which was kind of crazy. And just, really building that reputation and getting a name for myself so that, the streets would talk. And I think that's most important. That's where hip hop started at, right? So getting the streets talking and moving, then moved out to New York and really start hitting the battle scene out there and really got into taking my music to the next level and meeting with executives and building up from there. So it was a pretty cool journey.
So you say it about the whole competitive nature of it.
Right.
What do you think makes you stand out? There's so many artists that are emerging these days.
Right.
Sometimes they make it, sometimes they break it. So
Right.
what do you think makes you stand out?
I think it's like the guarantee of consistency. I think a lot of these artists, they run their mouth or they'll drop a big hit and have a big single and be okay with that and be comfortable with that. But I'm not, just making sure I continuously give them good music and they know that no matter what, I give them a lyrical guarantee. Right? Every song that they hear will have bars and will impress, and I won't take a light on any record.
Okay. Talk about some of the people you've worked with in the industry.
Man, that's a really good question. I've worked with a lot of people, especially when it came to the label times of jumping around and dealing with Warner Brothers and Columbia and Sony and getting a chance to learn from those. But I'd say the biggest, influence to me and who I worked with was really the Mosley Group with Timberland and Mikey Bowe. And then when I was doing the Subway commercial and different things like that. On the album, I really got a chance to work with Gene Noble, who's a big artist and who's Usher's background singer, and he's toured with Chris Brown and just had a big song out with Shaggy and them. So he's really been big in the industry himself and has influenced me a lot. Another artist named Voice in Canada, he's killing it right now, doing his thing. I got the opportunity also to work with Lil C's and 50 Cent and really get to be on thisisfifty.com and do stuff like that. And that was really, really amazing as well, because C's is a legend and he had a lot of great words for me and big words for me on the corner in Brooklyn, right? Just talking to him and getting to sit down after we recorded the 16 or Better. And now, I have his number and we'll text and we'll communicate and talk on the phone, and he's just been a big influence as well.
Okay, great. It seems like in most of your videos and stuff, you're repping Pittsburgh,
Yes.
so it seems like you're very loyal to Pittsburgh.
Oh, crazy.
What has Pittsburgh really given to you as far as your career?
Pittsburgh's given me every single thing it possibly can. I probably drained it like a vampire in the middle of the night. For me, if it wasn't for Pittsburgh, I wouldn't have a foundation to base my hip hop on. I think that's what's most important about hip hop and building a successful career. Is having a foundation, and Pittsburgh is my foundation, right? And that people see it no matter what country, city, state I'm in, that it stays with me, and I will always do that. As long as I have a top of the head for the hat to sit on, that's where it'll be.
Yeah. All right, so I think the biggest thing people want to know is your debut album.
Yes.
You talk a lot about that.
God, King Slave is my baby. I love it so much. Man, me and DJ Wonderboy, Mogul News, we've been working on this thing for about a year and a half, and to me, it's a masterpiece, right? I love it. It's my baby. It's my first album. It's big, but it's like a perception piece, and it's really to full-bodied, and it's to test and to show everyone the different aspects of music, and to make them question things and ask themselves questions while also having fun and not being too heavy and not making the air too tense. I think that the album will give everyone what they need and a lot of the people what they want. But more so what they need. That's what we want to give it to them, and bring it back to real hip hop and real lyricism, but also make it mainstream enough for the common listener to get as addicted as possible.
So from the sounds of it, God, King, Slave sounds very diverse.
Thank you.
It sounds like it has a lot of influence to it.
Absolutely.
We're here at Dave's Music Mine, so could you tell me some of the biggest influences you had
I could
writing your record?
I mean, we in the record store, let's touch some records. I can show you some stuff. Yeah. Alright, so M and Okay, Jay's, literally Jay's. Jay-Z was a huge influence. You know what, the Blueprint, the Gift, and the Curse was big for me. The first Blueprint 2 also, which started it. But this was a big record for me because, I mean, the Blueprint, Gift, and the Curse was the first double disc record I'd ever bought. God King Slave was a double disc. And it influenced me a lot with doing it and gave me the confidence to be able, as a new artist, and as my debut album, to put out, you know what I mean, a double disc album and be confident about it. 24 songs, a lot of music to listen to.
Absolutely.
But it's also a lot more music to love. So, you know, I love that. But yeah, Jay-Z, Gift and the Curse, and the Blueprint, both, all three of them actually, huge influence. And I mean, you can't be an MC without appreciating Eminem, of course, the legend, right? So the Marshall Mathers LP really influenced me a lot on the album. Just the depth of it. Oh, here it is right here. Just the depth of it, and lyrically how he manipulated the words and moved around. It was produced, I think, by Dr. Dre and Rick Rubin. Yep. And then, you know, on Dre's album Detox, he did Doctor, which was a big song, which actually kind of helped influence me on doing Ruins, which is the intro to my album. So I mean, this album gives me chills. So this is a big influence as well. We're in the E's, so the A's. Adele, big influence. A lot of people think like I'm a rapper and listen to that soft stuff. Adele's a huge influence. 21, this was a big album. It's Rolling in the Deep on it, which really helped me. I mean, her voice is amazing, but it's the writing that really gets me with all her writing. Rolling in the Deep was a big influence because the build up, but really Skyfall. I'm a big Bond fan anyway, but Skyfall, the build up of that and the epicness of the songs and the instruments. I could watch that Bond intro a million times. But yeah, Skyfall was a big influence. So Adele, definitely, last but not least, Aretha Franklin, right? Because the album has a lot of gospel influence. God King Slave, right? Songs like Crucifixion and Babylon really built on that gospel movement. And, you know, I grew up in the church. So all her records really, I mean, my mom and my dad played her records all the time, Marvin Gaye, stuff like that. I mean, I'm even now like Ellie Goulding and her records, Evanescence and stuff like that. But I mean, the godmother, right? This is mom's right here. So Aretha Franklin, I mean, really influenced it with that powerful voice and that church influence and that strong choir background. Really helped anchor the whole album. The rich music, strings and piano and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's really the big influence in here. I could be in here all day. They've got everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
but yeah, so other than that, like, you know, just making sure that I give the best album possible and, you know, take it back to the essence, the vinyls.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it. Let's go buy some records.
Yes.
Yeah.